Calling this May 14th, 2024 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting to order. Staff, if you could please take the roll. It is. Are we having issues or am I not close enough?
Yeah, there you go.
If you could please take the roll.
Mr. Bunkfest.
Here.
Dr. Keene. Mr. Clarino.
Here.
Mr. Plummer.
Here.
Mr. Buller. We have a quorum.
Wonderful. Move to the approval of minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes. I'll second.
Motion and a second. We'll just take a vote by saying aye. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Staff, please review the rules and procedures.
Yes, for all petitions this evening, one of them, tonight's meeting has the following structure. The department will summarize the petition and describe what action, if any, is necessary to be taken. Then the petitioner will be given up to 15 minutes to present to the board. The president will open a public hearing and individuals will be given 3 minutes to speak. Those representing a group will be given 5 minutes to speak. Only one member of the group will be given 5 minutes to speak, and for efficiency purposes, we ask that those representing a group speak first. The public hearing will be closed when all interested members of the audience, there are no members of the public here right now, just FYI, have had a chance to be heard, and all emails received during the meeting have been provided to board members. The petitioner will then have a chance to respond to comments, and the board will follow with any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the petition. Please do not disrupt the proceedings in any way. If you need to have a private discussion, we ask that you please quietly exit the room. Please silence your devices at this time, but if you must answer them, please quietly exit the room. If you are attending in person and wish to speak in regards to a petition scheduled for a public hearing, once the public hearing is opened by the president, then those folks who are not here right now should approach the podium and write their name and address on the sign-in sheet over here. Those that may be listening but not attending in person should email comments to planners@westfield.in.gov with the petition name or number included in the subject line. Those comments will be then forwarded to board members and the petitioner. During comments, please state your name and address into the microphone for the record. We ask that you not repeat previously stated comments. The presentation will be timed and you'll be advised when there's approximately 30 seconds remaining. We'd like to remind everyone to speak directly into the microphone so comments can be put onto the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Moving on to items of business. The one and only item on business today, item 2405-VS-16, as it relates to improvement to 19405 Justin Morgan Drive. Dane, please proceed.
Bring the exhibits up here. All right. Evening members of the board, for the record, Dane Crabtree, the Community Development Department. The item before you this evening is a request for variances of development standards for a 0.81 acre property at 19405 Justin Morgan Drive. The variances that are being requested are to waive the US 31 overlay standards for the property, modify minimum lot size and minimum road frontage standards, permit an accessory building in an established front yard, and to encroach 50 feet into the 100-foot minimum front yard setback and 10 feet into the 30-foot minimum side yard setback with an accessory building. There's quite a bit of context here, so bear with me. The Morgan Woods subdivision, which this property is located within, was subdivided and recorded in 2 sections in 1972 and 1976, both predating the zoning's establishment in Westfield. Despite the subdivision's AGSF1 agriculture single-family rural district zoning, none of the lots in the subdivision are compliant in that none are 3 acres in size with 250 feet of road frontage. The petitioner's request to modify lot size and road frontage standards are solely to make the existing lot legal conforming. The US 31 overlay requires buildings to have heightened architectural standards, a maximum lot coverage, and minimum building height, which with the proposed accessory building, the petitioner would not be able to meet or would arguably not meet. Because the property is located between Justin Morgan Drive and the US Highway 31 right-of-way line, the property has 2 front yards. Per the site plan, the petitioner is wishing to locate the accessory building behind the primary residence, technically in the front yard of US Highway 31. I guess in this it's more or less directly to the west behind it, if you're looking at it from Justin Morgan Drive. Finally, the petitioner wishes to encroach 50 feet into the front yard setback of US Highway 31 and 10 feet into the side yard setback. For context, if Morganwood subdivision were zoned SF2 single family low density instead of AGSF1, both of these requests would not need variances as the front yard setback for SF2 zoning is 30 feet and the side yard setback is 12 feet. This item has been properly noticed and advertised. The department has received no public comments. The petitioner, Randall Stout Jr., is present this evening. He does not plan to make a presentation, but is available if there are questions, and as relayed to me, he does have some letters from neighbors if the board would like to read those. They can be entered into the record if that's the case. Thank you.
Thank you, Dane. Any comments from staff before we or from our board before we open up? Public hearing?
just a quick question out of curiosity. Can you go back to that plan that showed the garage? I was just curious. Is it the orientation of that at that angle? Is that just? Are you going to have a driveway extension to the garage? Are you actually going to have pave it to get to the garage?
So, Randall, if you could go ahead and approach and then push the button beneath the microphone on this right here.
I do plan on adding gravel to the garage from the existing gravel lot. So it's blacktop to, you can see my black truck on the corner of the house, and then that's all gravel. So I plan on at least to the garage.
And that angle is that just so that you can, just because trying to maximize the amount of yard that you have around it, versus just having it straight with a house? That's all. Just curious.
For storage purposes for my pontoon boat there.
Okay, I got you.
It's more of a straight shot. If I put it parallel with my house, it'd make it fun.
Okay, that's all I got.
Great. This item does require a public hearing. As always, if you have any comments, please submit to planners@westfield.in.gov. 7:07. We are opening public hearing.
There is still no one in attendance, and I will check the email for my email for emails, but we don't have one any right now.
Wonderful. About 30 more seconds, and we will move on. Last call.
No comments.
Wonderful. Wait till it clicks this. And 7:08. Public hearing is now closed. As legal counsel pointed out to us today, we are at a 3-0 quorum. However, it does require a 3-0 vote. If there's any objection, please let that be known now, and we will punt to a later meeting. If not, I will entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve 2405 VS 16.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll, or can we just do an aye vote? How do you want to do it?
If you could, Jake, amend your motion to include the two recommended conditions.
Motion for approval of 2405 VS 16, including was it two conditions?
Mm-hmm.
With the two conditions.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Clarino,
Yes.
Mr. Plummer,
Yes.
Mr. Munkefest.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I believe we also have a finding of fact. Yes. So we entertain a motion of finding of fact.
I'll make a motion to finding of facts on this petition.
Second.
Motion and second. Please take the roll.
Mr. Clarino,
Yes.
Mr. Plummer,
Yes.
Mr. Munkefest.
Yes.
Motion carries. The matter is approved.
Wonderful.
I wish I had room to build a garage like this on my lot.
Yes. Thank you both very much for your time and for being here for such a quick one today. Thank you. We did not make mention. Yep. Good luck. We did not make mention. Yes. Yes. You too. Thank you so much. Did not make mention of it at the beginning, or maybe we did. The training session as shown on the agenda has been moved, I believe, to our June meeting. Wonderful. If there are no further items, we will move on to reports and comments. Plan Commission liaison also happens to be me this evening. Very straightforward. One item on the consent agenda. We had the Westwood PUD approved, the UDO general patch approved. I will make note to this board that UDO general patch changes the pool guidelines of approval. It now is essentially recommendation. Neighbors can sign off on any setback approaches for pools, and then I believe if there is some remonstration, they are then allowed to come back before this body and apply for a variance. But that should take away a lot of what we're doing. 2 public hearing items, one for Vita of Westfield, a senior living component next to Spring Mill in 32. The other, Westfield Washington Schools revampment of the former public library to their event center. And then we continue to have 2 items pushed to a future meeting. With that, anything from the Community Development Department?
I'll just expand, I guess, a little bit briefly on the swimming pool setback thing. Lauren Gillingham, our senior planner, did some research and basically found out that by adding this patch of the UDO, it would effectively eliminate about 80% or so of the pool variance encroachment requests that the board sees. Basically, the new rule would be that a swimming pool could encroach up to 50% into the existing setback in the event that, along with the building permit, a letter from the adjoining neighbor who was most affected by the encroachment, a written and certified letter was provided with the permit saying that they are okay with that encroachment, and it would effectively eliminate a significant portion of what we see, which for the most part the general public doesn't seem to have objections toward in the most part anyway. So yeah, that's it.
And I think we baked in that had to be recorded, correct? In the
Yeah.
just so like subsequent owners would know
That
this occurred.
Yep.
So when the neighbor changed and now all of a sudden objects to this pool, they're going to hear about it first, and they can be like, "Well, this was approved. It was, it was recorded. You should have known about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're sorry."
Yeah, there was an already existing similar rule in the UDO regarding stables in agricultural zone properties, and similar stable could encroach into a 100-foot setback that would otherwise be required with written permission from the neighbor. So
And this brings us actually into compliance with a lot of other states. Before we started, I think you and I discussed Connecticut, where we lived before, and how streamlined the zoning stuff is there. So.
Yeah.
80% for us, and hopefully a lot of workload for city staff that they no longer have to worry about either, which is great.
How do you define a pool? Is it the deck around it?
yeah, so the actual setback is to the pool, the concave pool itself. The decking or the paving or whatnot around the pool can encroach into the setback, but the actual pool, fiberglass pool or whatever that is installed in the ground is where the setback actually goes to.
Perfect.
Yep.
Well, with that, if no other comments, I will take a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Meeting adjourned, 7:13.
I think that's a record this year.